Baby, what's good? You are now rocking with the best. Bleav in Cowboys. Parrish, Jesse Holley, all brought to you by FanDuel. You see us on the bookends. Very special guest in the middle. You see him on your screen. Oregon Ducks' finest first-round pick, Carolina Panther running back Pro Bowler Johnathan Stewart joining us today. Bleav in Cowboys. What's popping, OG?
Oh man, everything's popping. Just depends on whether or not you popping with it.
Hey, there it is. Carolina Panthers doing their thing, coming in off one of the biggest comebacks in franchise history, being down 17-0, getting the victory over the Miami Dolphins. We know the Dallas Cowboys put a spanking on them New York Jets. So what we do here in the Cowboys, Bleav in Cowboys, the first word. JStew, since you are the guest, we give you the first word. What is on your mind going into this game with the Carolina Panthers hosting the Dallas Cowboys?
The main thing that's on my mind is the need to stack, right? Previously this year we were able to go in to our first home game of the season and smack the Atlanta Falcons, give them that 0, right? And then we, go back to old ways when we go to Patriots, right? So everybody's wanting to see the establishment of consistency here in the Carolinas. And, it's hard. It's hard to win football games at this level, especially when you have, the amount of changes that have happened for the Carolina Panthers. Those types of things add up. We now have had, Dave and Dan together for 2 years. And, you have the draft, you have the free agency, and we're now starting to see those pieces start to stick, right, and start to click as well under those two. And for some time now, we haven't been able to have the depth stick around because the mixture of coaching staff and the mixture of, the needs and the wants as far as your roster and building out your roster, it's hard to develop the culture. It's hard to develop, what you're looking for as far as an organization when you have so much change. And I think we finally started to get some things right, especially you look at this draft class and you look at the last game that these guys played against the Miami Dolphins. You look at that last drive and it was a lot of rookies that stepped up in there to close out, a game-winning drive. So you're starting to see the impact of what Dan Morgan, the GM and company, is looking for in a player. You're looking for guys that love ball, that know ball, but most importantly, they go out there and execute, right? It's one thing to be talented, but you got to be able to execute, which means you got to have the process speeds. You got to be able to react, and the moment can't be bigger than you, right? You look at Jimmy Horn Jr. We call him Hemi Horn Jr., right? He had a quote, guy was asking him if he felt the pressure, and he said, "Nah, I don't feel pressure. I apply pressure." And that is something that you don't see on film sometimes. It's something that you see in the guy's heart. And Dan Morgan has a feel for seeing what Guy's heart looks like. He played the game, and certain things like that get unnoticed when it comes to draft prospects and the free agency. And I'm glad we got guys like that on this team. So going into this game, the thing that's on my mind is, can we stack? And I think we can, because I feel like we are starting to finally see a refresh within the Carolina Panthers organization when we have guys like, the young guys being able to step up, and you have the additions in free agency, and then, being able to be compatible with guys like Derek Brown, with guys like Chuba Hubbard, and so I think the Dallas Cowboys coming back to the Bank of America Stadium without Rico Dowdle is going to be interesting, in my opinion.
Revenge on Rico's mind. We know that he was a player for the Cowboys last season, just coming off a career high, going over 200 on them boys, the most yards he's ever put up in a game. Jesse, obviously, you have Carolina ties, played for the Carolina Tar Heels. Obviously, we know what you did for the Dallas Cowboys. You've been watching film. You've been paying attention. What's standing out to you so far from the Carolina Panthers that you're looking at?
Well, I mean, I think the first and foremost, when we look at them defensively, it kind of starts and ends up front with Big Derek Brown. They have a nice rotation of those guys up front. They don't do anything like spectacular defensively. Like they're not doing these exotic fronts and these exotic blitzes and all other kind of stuff. It's very similar to how the Cowboys are playing defense. It's like, I just need guys to line up. I need guys to know where they're supposed to be. I had to simplify this thing so that we have everybody where they're supposed to be, and we're going to play the percentages. We're going to just be where we're supposed to be, rally to the football, tackle, and do that kind of stuff. And then let the playmakers like a Jesse Holley or like a Derek Brown, step up and do what they do. Offensively, you hear some of the names, right? You hear about, Tech being out there. You hear about, Renfro, and you talked about, Jimmy Horn Jr. and Xavier Legette. There's names out there. And of course, after the performance that they had last week with Rico Dowdle, and while that sticks out in my mind is because the Cowboys defensively have been being kind. They've not been very good. And
they've been giving up them draws. That's what they've been doing.
Hey, let's keep it a buck with it. Hey, it is what it is.
Don't worry, Jesse. Jesse, we get it, man. You getting paid.
No, listen.
So we gonna finish them sentences the right way.
Hey, come on, dog. Offensively, we know the Cowboys have put up 151 points. Defensively, they've given up 154. I say that, Jesse, continue.
Yeah, no. So for me, I look at that and I go, all right. I said today they put out some one of the guys from NFL Network put out some Angry Run shirts with Rico Dowdle on it. I said, if I'm Eberflus, I buy one for each one of my defensive coaches, and we wear them to practice all week as motivation of saying, are you gonna finally step up and stop letting people do what they want to you? Teams pass how they want it. Last week, even the Jets, they ran the football how they wanted, 8 yards a carry from Breece Hall. And, this is a copycat league. JStew, that's a copycat league. What you did last week, a team's going to come back and they're going to check the temperature and see if you fixed it or not. So I look at that and I go, are the Cowboys willing to really, really, really step up defensively? I'm not worried about what they're going to do offensively. They're solid on that side. But defensively, Teddy McMillan, he wants to get the big passes down the sideline. The Cowboys have been susceptible to giving up the big plays all over the field. And then the running game. Are you willing to step up? And it's not just the front four, the linebackers. You may be without your starting linebacker and Sanborn, but I don't know if that makes a damn difference anyway. Having him on the field, off the field, he out there lost any damn way. But it's who's willing to step up? At some point in time, you got to have a little bit of pride in your game and say, not me, not today, not us. And the Cowboys haven't done that yet defensively, and that's why they are at the back of the NFL, 31st, 32nd in a lot of categories, because they just won't step up and stop anybody.
No question
Jesse,
about it.
To that point, yeah, I was gonna say to that point, Jesse, if I'm Rico, Chuba, whoever it is that's getting ready to suit up for this game, I'm looking exactly at that. Right,
Yeah.
Especially giving up, crucial first downs. Right, Dallas is leading the league almost. I feel like it has to be on them first down runs. Right, if I'm the Carolina Panthers, I'm keeping Dak on the sideline.
Yeah,
meaning if we got to get if we moving the chains, like we'll get the explosive plays as they come through play action, and we gonna run this rock. If we run the rock, we keep Dak on the sideline, pick up and when we run the rock, it's not when people say run the ball. The mindset means we gonna run the rock so that way we can open up play action. We can open up the short passes, the quick routes, the quick game, which then opens up the intermediate. Right, play with them linebackers. You already said it. Linebackers is over there finding their way, and it's very similar to what the Carolina Panthers was dealing with. Trevin Wallace and Christian Rosebooms this past week, they just said they switched up their roles, right? Play caller, Trevin Wallace, you are him. You're the play caller now. And it freed up Christian Roseboom to go out there and act a fool. And so what the Dallas Cowboys need to do, they got to figure out who can we put in position to win, right? if you rocking with who you rocking with, maybe they not playing the right position. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a coach's job is to do. A coach's job is to put guys in positions to win. And if they haven't figured that out with their roster yet, they ain't never gonna figure it out unless they bold enough to make those types of moves. And so shout out to Dan Canales and company for being able to do so, because it's crucial moments. And Dallas Cowboys have been in crucial moments for years. And it doesn't seem like they've been able to make those bold moves, saying, hey, look, I know we've been rocking with you a certain way, but we're going to try another way.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Yes,
the last time that happened, and part of the reason is it's the Jimmys and Joes, right? Because we can want to make the changes, but if you don't have the Jimmy and the Joe to do it, you just doing musical chairs now, right? And so the Cowboys, where they suffer that, especially on that second level with linebackers, right? You had Jack Sanborn, who came over with Matt Eberflus, and that's his guy. And I jokingly said this a couple of weeks ago. In life, I want someone to love and support me through everything, no matter what, the way that Matt Eberflus has supported Jack Sanborn through all that he's gone through. He brought him over. He's like, listen, I don't give a damn what's happening. It just so happened that he got, concussed last week, and he's been in concussion protocol this week. But the last time the Cowboys said, you know what, hey, we're going to take you from here and put you over here, and it worked, was Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons was a linebacker under Dan Quinn.
Sure was.
Through the injuries, it was like, well, we don't have any more ends out there. Micah, what you doing on Sunday? You want to come try? You want to come try to play defensive end? And he was like, all right. Oh, like, what's my assignment? Go get the guy that has the football. Lo and behold, he was really good at going to get the guy that had the football. 2 All-Pros, 4 Pro Bowls, and now a record-setting contract. The Cowboys right now, defensively, they don't have the guy. They got a young guy, Shamar James, and he's a rookie. He don't know half the time right from his left. He's playing with fire, right, with his hair on fire, but sometimes he's going in the wrong direction. Merritt Leofau the same way. And now you have Kenneth Murray, who is the veteran of the group. Kenneth Murray looks spectacular getting off the bus. He does. I'm not going to lie to you. If you want to build a linebacker, or you want to have a picture of what a linebacker is supposed to look like, pull up a picture of Kenneth Murray, and you go, that's what he's supposed to look like. Problem is, Kenneth Murray, for his whole career, problem processing. He's processing late. He's not getting to where he needs to get to. And anytime you're playing linebacker and you're a step slow, you're done. That guard, that center, that tackle gets up on you. And once they lock them mitts on you, it's hard to get off. And you're not arm tackling running backs in this league. So that's the problem with
definitely not arm tackling Rico.
Right. It's the interchangeable pieces is the pieces that you want to interchangeable with, they ain't too much better than the ones that's already in there. So it's the Cowboys defensively, they have a deficiency with talent. And that's long been the issue here in Dallas. They're going to get guys on offense. They're going to quarterback, skill guys, running backs. They're going to get those guys. But defensively, it's like, we'll give you one guy. We may give you a guy and a half, but they're not going to put the resources in putting significant players on the defense. It's more so of, let's see if we can't make this guy into something, and it just hasn't worked out defensively.
Yeah.
No question about it. Hey, Bleav in Cowboys, Johnathan Stewart joining us, Jesse Holley, Parrish, all brought to you by FanDuel. A number of impact players discussing the defense. Jesse, you've gone over a number of them. And defensively, the Dallas Cowboys are going to be looking at Bryce Young. We know Bryce Young came in highly touted, didn't necessarily start his career the way he wanted to. However, Johnathan, looking at him now, it looks like he's starting to turn the corner, especially that last game being down by that significant margin. Turnovers early, fumbling the ball, interception, but still is managing to come back. Just watching him, knowing what you know, seeing a number of quarterbacks play in this league, just watching him, what have you seen from him that shows you he's ready to take that next step?
Well, I mean, you look at that last game, it's all about overcoming, right? Because as you know, football is full of adversity. And if you don't have the ability to shake it off, you're not going to get very far. And there's been countless games where we've witnessed that, you have moments in games where you can take it over, you can come back, you can crawl yourself out, you can will your way into a win. And there's been many occasions where he hasn't been able to make that happen. But I don't blame that all on Bryce, right? If you get a guy, you get a chef, right? And you expect him to make a 5-star meal. You got to have 5-star ingredients, okay? And even when you have the ingredients, you still sometimes have to let it marinate, right? Depending on what you cooking, right? If we cooking steak, I want my seasoning to be marinating, right? Especially if we outside grilling. So in my mind, I think Bryce and company all together, you look at the coaching staff, like I was saying earlier, it's a multitude of timing, it's a multitude of trust, and it's a multitude of the ability to have the development and the time to develop into the player that is going to process fast, that's going to believe and trust the game plan. And for the coaching staff to understand the rhythm and the flow of how they're going to call certain things, right? For certain players. I look at the defense, the defensive line is refreshed. We got some guys, Patrick Jones, and Nick Scorton, Princely, the young guys, right? Figuring out how you're going to, put these guys in position to be effective, on certain downs. What downs are they going to be the most impactful? Nick Scorton turns out to be impactful anytime you put him in there. Right? And so now he's going to get more playing time. Now, even though he's a rookie, you've been thinking to yourself, okay, we're going to baby step this thing. No, you don't need to baby step Nick Scorton at this point, right? So in my mind, Bryce Young taking leaps, it comes with the guys that are around him. It comes with moments in time where guys rise to the occasion, even when things go wrong. He overcame two turnovers against the Miami Dolphins, 17 down, and Dave Canales, he does a good job of sticking to the game plan, right? He doesn't back off of the run. Miami Dolphins struggled in the run game. That's the game plan. That's their weakness. You have to attack their weakness. No matter what you are down by, you have to figure out how to run it. That game, that first scoring drive that the Carolina Panthers had, he actually called 5 run plays in a row, and that set the tone. And then you get ballsy and say, oh, it's 4th down? I'm going to go to my guy, T-Mac, because Bryce Young trusts T-Mac. So it goes down to, again, what I said earlier, trust. And so I think Bryce is now in a flow of things where he's got guys around him that he can trust. He's got an offensive line that's been in the building that he can trust. You look at the depth. We've had 2 injuries already at the offensive line spot, actually 3, right? And so getting guys that are on the depth chart that he's familiar with, you all of a sudden start not missing a beat, right? You understand how a guy's gonna, get his passing set, and you're gonna understand what it's gonna look like, feel like. So in my mind, I think he's right there. I just want to see a stack, and it's a team thing. We just got to see them come together as a unit and put all of it together. I want to see you talk about teams that are capable of playing complementary football. We have yet to really see that across the whole board, where a special team shows up, where the defense shows up, and it doesn't have to be perfect ball. It just has to be complementary. Out the gate, there's been a lot of times where our scripted plays, they do wonders with, and then all of a sudden something bad happens. Okay, well, just because something bad happens doesn't mean that you just throw the whole game plan away, right? And I don't think Dan Canales or Dave Canales does that. I don't think that he throws the game plan away, but I think they put themselves in such a hole early that you are forced to do so. So running the ball slows the game down, and I just solely believe, you play the fundamentals. You run the ball, you stop the run, and you move on.
Yeah, I think when I look at watching Bryce on film, one of the things that and this comes with experience is like you're watching, like for us, I watch Dak Prescott and I watch the way how he is so in command in the pocket, right?
Yeah.
Like he even talk about being down 3 linemen for you guys, 4 linemen for us last week. And the one thing that's been consistent with Dak Prescott this year is he is in such command of the pocket, his mobility, the slight movement up or to the side, and trying to just buys his time a little bit. And I think that's one of the things that Bryce Young struggles with, and that just comes with time. Sometimes he runs himself into a sack, and I try to make people understand. I'm like, when you give a blocking assignment to the offensive lineman, when you give them protection, in their head, they're saying, okay, he's supposed to be here, so I'm going to block the dude out here. Well, sometimes you'll have Bryce run out of a clean pocket and into a sack, and it goes in the line, and he's like, oh, you gave up a sack. You're like, yeah, I did, but he ain't supposed to be running out here. He's supposed to be in the pocket. And that stuff comes along with time, but, you want to see, it's just from the offensive standpoint, that's why the run game is so important for a guy like Bryce Young. It calms him. It gives him easier reads. Now when I go to the play action, now it develops for me a lot faster, a lot easier. And I'm not trying to play hero ball every single down. I'm not trying to get the 10-point touchdown. There's no such thing as a 10-point touchdown, but you get in this mindset of, if I don't get it now, I'm never going to get a chance to get it. And I think, when you look at what the Cowboys are doing offensively, I think that's where they're at in such a great groove with Brian Schottenheimer, the consistency that he and Dak Prescott have with one another. They've had about 3 seasons with one another. Dak being in his 10th year, there isn't a defense that he hadn't seen, right? So he's not being confused by a lot of stuff. And he now understands that he has answers to the test. It's not, and I got on Jason Garrett, I got on Mike McCarthy about, everything can't be a hitch route or a 12-yard curl route. There's not a lot of answers to that, right? Let's have multiple layers to this thing. Let's have answers everywhere in the football field. And that's the part where Carolina and Bryce hadn't quite gotten yet. He hadn't quite gotten comfortable in maneuvering the pocket, and offensively they haven't given him enough to where he has multiple answers to the test every time he walks to the line of scrimmage. And that's what you see the difference between a younger quarterback and trying to build that offense and what you have now in Dak Prescott and the mature offense and a guy who is just in a zone right now, and Brian Schottenheimer calling plays.
And speaking of that, because you touch on it, as we Bleav in Cowboys, brought to you by FanDuel, Johnathan Stewart, Jesse Holley. Listen, we're here in the Metroplex and the DF Dub. We see what everybody's saying. And JStew, I'm coming to you on this. Dak Prescott, obviously tenured veteran, played at the highest level right now, and you've watched a lot of football. And we hear the chants at the MetLife Stadium. He's in a visiting stadium. They're chanting MVP for this man. We see what we see here, but what do you see from Dak Prescott playing quarterback this year?
I think he's the MVP of y'all's team for sure. And if it has to be a guy that, if he's not on the team, Dallas Cowboys are pitiful.
So, okay. Clearly, team MVP, but there's been talk that he is in the conversation for league MVP.
Yeah, league MVP.
So it's legit. It's just not.
It's legit because he's leading the league in the category that the team needs. If it wasn't for Dak Prescott putting up these points, putting up these yards, finding these guys down the field, some way, somehow, when the team knows that it's coming, what else are you expecting out of this man? What else are you expecting? The defense is out here giving up 30-something points per game. Per game, which means Dak needs to put up at least 35 per game. Put the team in position for 35.
Right.
And so who else is doing that? You know what I'm saying? Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's another guy.
He's in that conversation as well.
He's in that conversation. And so both guys in NFC. You look at Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, right? They have fallen completely apart. because my man is not in the building, right? You got, and we know Lamar Jackson is an MVP because he's been one in the past. Dak Prescott, without not on the Cowboys team, the Cowboys are cowgirls. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's just what it is, and because the defense is playing like it, right? We're laughing, it's laughable, but it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? And so you put Dak Prescott on a team that has an average defense. Now you're looking at Super Bowl contenders.
No
You
question.
can't say that. You can't necessarily say that because of Dak Prescott on the Cowboys, because the Cowboys on defense has been suspect. I mean, look at, what was it, 2 years ago, a year ago, when they played the Detroit Lions or the Green Bay? No, it was the Green Bay Packers, right? The Green Bay Packer came in there and put up, I don't know how many points. It
That
was
was
too
the
many.
playoffs 2 years ago. Put up 100 on them boys. Dak had a pick six. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you expect Dak to do? Now, Dak did his share of mishaps in that game, but a quarterback like him can come back if you allow him to.
No question. Bleav in Cowboys, of course. Jesse Holley, Parrish, Johnathan Stewart, as the Dallas Cowboys get ready to play the Carolina Panthers. FanDuel brings this all to you. So I just want to veer off for a second because I know that we all pay attention to social media, and sometimes we see things, and I'm famous for putting memes up on this show at times. However, we're not going to do a meme. I just want to get your reaction, and Johnathan, we'll start with you because Jesse, you've seen this. But when you see Jerry Jones tell everybody in the stadium in New York that they're number one, and apparently he thought that it was a thumbs up. When you see Jerry Jones do this, what are your thoughts?
Man, look, you want the truth?
Hey, keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. Oh, and by the way, before we start, the views expressed on Bleav in Cowboys do not reflect those of Jesse Holley or anyone else associated with the Dallas Cowboys. You have the floor.
The disclaimer. The disclaimer. Nah, man, this is what I think about Jerry Jones. He's obviously he's an incredible businessman. He's done some things for the Cowboys, which is actually transpired in good favor for a lot of the NFL teams in the league, right? As far as what ownership looks like now today because of the things that he was able to accomplish. I will say that doesn't give you the allowance to behave that way. You know what I'm saying? You're an owner. People are looking up to you. You should carry a badge of honor being in your situation. I don't think it is. A lot of people have a lot to say about David Tepper, right? And I know owners are human. You know what I'm saying? Owners are human and they want to win. He's been in position of being an NFL owner for some time now, so he knows better, right? I don't know if he's seen now. I don't know what's going on with his health. I don't know what his mentals are like right now. But be out there giving people the bird in your position. That ain't okay. We need to and I would say I'm not over here overly sensitive to the situation because common sense ain't common. Common sense is not common. And there's two.
Did we lose him?
Oh no, I think we're losing them.
Yeah, I think we lost him.
We might have lost him. Well, with that said, we'll work out this technical difficulty. We'll get JStew back in the mix. In the meantime, I can't help but to look at this meme of Jerry Jones, and Jesse, if you want to touch on this, you can. If not, we can move forward.
No, like honestly, when I saw it, like I played for the man, I work for the man, I'm still around this organization, and when I initially saw it, I was like, that sounds about Jerry, right? Like that sounds about what what Jerry Jones would do. But the initial first thought in my mind was, man, what it feels like to be that rich.
Right.
Because and I'm from Jersey, so I know what he was going with at that game. Like, people always laugh and they joke and they go, hey, that's actually how we say hello in the Northeast, right?
Right.
Northeast, and I'm sure whoever he was giving that finger to had definitely said far worse things to him throughout the course of that game. And I get it. He's an owner. He's supposed to hold himself at a higher standard and act at a higher standard. I mean, hell, it cost him $250,000 for it.
Which is a drop in the bucket.
That's why I was like, man, I wish I was that rich with $250,000. Didn't matter to me. I mean, it's Jerry Jones, and that's not an excuse. It just shows you there's another level of sometimes being naive in the fact that you got to know this is 2025. Everything is being recorded. You're Jerry Jones. You can't go anywhere without someone having a camera pointed at you, pointed towards you, a microphone, something, what have you. That's just what the deal is, and that's just Jerry. But again, when you're that rich and when you're in the position that Jerry, he is, we all, and again, this is not me making an excuse, but we all got uncles or grandparents who have achieved that 65, 70, 80-year-old age range. They don't give a damn about nothing. They're gonna say what they want, when they want, how they want, and don't give two craps about how you feel about it. Like, that's just, and Jerry's in that boat right now. He's rich, he's old, he white, and he can do what the hell he want, when the hell he want, how the hell he wants to do it, and that's just what it is. And it
ain't right.
It ain't right. No, it
ain't okay.
I mean, he'll pay. He's paying the cost for it, but that's just
like this is how I see it from outside looking in. There's no humility. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been around Tepper, and Tepper is actually very humble. Like, whether people believe it or not, from the outside looking in, he just simply wants to win. He is a simple dude. He sees it's black and white. You know what I'm saying? I want to win. How can I do it? That's what I want to do. Jerry Jones literally wants the microphone in his head. He everything that he does, it's a position of influence and power. After I watched that doggone documentary, it's exactly what we thought. He runs the show. And it's not just the football show. It's the after game, it's the pregame, it's the post game. It is the activities after the game, like, the festivities for Super Bowl and all the things. You know what I'm saying? So when you watch a guy like that and you see how he interacts with fans in settings like that, it doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me.
Doesn't surprise anybody. We know who Jerry Jones is. We know what he's about. He's told us a million times, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time, the second time, and the third and fourth, and so on. Believe in Cowboys. Parrish.
Jerry is saying, good press, bad press, just spell my name right. That's his good press, bad press, just make sure you spell my name right.
No question. Jesse Holley in the building. Also with Johnathan Stewart, Bleav in Cowboys. All brought to you by FanDuel. Parrish on the mic doing my thing. So we all are close to the end. So this is just what I want to do for the last portion. JStew, while we got you here, I want to know, what is your favorite Dallas Cowboy moment? Now, and I just preface this by saying,
I can tell you, Luke Kuechly stiff arm Antonio Romo in the end zone when he got that interception on Turkey Bowl.
Say less. Say less. I was gonna say it could be a teammate, it could be a personal moment, it could be something that you watch.
What year was that, JStew?
That was 2015. That was the year we went to the Super Bowl. Everybody had us to lose that game. Yeah. Kurt Coleman came up with a pick. Luke came up with a pick. I might have had two picks. But I remember the one where he stepped on Tony Romo for no reason.
Yeah.
Nasty. That was when I Bleav Carolina came to Dallas. Y'all had on the all
blue
teal that game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We was in there like Smurfs.
Yeah. Nasty. Speaking of Smurfs, shouts out to the Carolina Panthers. This is a shameless plug. These are just some
them
some
look nice. What size them is?
Not your size.
Well played.
Hey, and while we're here, Jesse, obviously we know that you have strong Carolina ties. Do you have any favorite Carolina Panthers moments?
I do. This was, I don't know, JStew, you don't know this, but Ro, you know this was when I got with the Cowboys, of course, coming off the reality TV show, right, with Michael Irvin, fourth along with Michael Irvin. We're playing the Carolina Panthers. And at the time, we were playing, it was a preseason game. We're playing them in the preseason game. And, after the game is over, you kind of, you go to see your people. If you got somebody from the team, you go see your peoples, whatever. You pray with the guys in the field after the game. At that time, I had a teammate that played for the Panthers. His name was Holley Taylor. He played for the Panthers. Yeah. And so after the game is over,
dog. Shout out to Holley.
Yeah. That's my dog. So after the game is over, I go across the field and we meet and I speak to Holley. And as we're talking, someone comes up behind me and taps me on my shoulder pads. And I turn around and it's Steve Smith. And I've always been a fan of Steve Smith as a receiver, from one receiver to another. I've always just liked him. He's just a dog. You know what I'm saying? I've always been a fan of his. I love the way he got it out the mud. I got it out the mud, just trying to make your way through. And now, again, this is Steve Smith. This is a preseason game. Jokers be out. You know what I'm saying? They're like, man, I'm on the bus. I'm out of here. I ain't got time for none of this. I'm trying to get back so I can get going with my life. And after the game, like I said, Steve Smith, he comes to me and he says, man, I want to let you know I watched every episode of that show and you deserve everything that's coming your way. And he was like, because you went and got it. Nobody stopped you. The odds were against you and you went and got it. And I've been following you from that. And I'm happy to see you here today. And again, I'm not expecting this. I came to speak to Holley and my dog from Carolina and going about my business. And so when that happened, I was like, wow, it was just a cool moment to have that situation happen from a guy that I admired in Steve Smith, from afar. But that's one of my favorite Carolina moments playing against the Panthers was having that moment from Steve Smith, just recognizing me, and that makes sense.
Hey, that's awesome. Steve Smith is hands down one of, if not my favorite receiver. I am not a tall man. I stand about 5'8", and whenever I saw Steve Smith, work done. Whenever I saw those dudes on the field, I'm like, yo, if I was in the league, that's what I look like, because they were straight up dogs. But anyway, it's not about me. Gonna keep this thing with Cowboys and Panthers. I'm gonna put this image on the screen, and I need to know, between these two, Jesse, number one, who you got? If you had to pick one receiver, who's it going to be?
89.
Oh, 88.
Agent, 89.
Playmaker. That's easy. The playmaker. That's the playmaker.
Hey, I'm not surprised by either answer.
the guy that looks like he's just about to go and torture someone for the whole day. That's what I'm gonna go pick.
That's Michael Irvin. That's Mike. Mike gonna torture you for the whole day. Mike gonna torture you for the whole day. Let you know why you on the field, what he about to do after the field, and then after the field, he gonna go do what he do off the field.
So right. Okay. Listen, and I'm going somewhere specifically with this because I love playmaker. I love Steve Smith on the field. And we know that they had a little something going on at NFL Network, and some words were exchanged. So, do you remember the show Celebrity Deathmatch?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we had a fictional situation, and again, I don't want to start no trouble because I got a lot of love for Smitty. I got a lot of love for playmaker, but we know that you don't want to test neither one of them individuals because they both had situations in their past where I don't know if you want to cross that line. So anyway, fictionally. speaking, if there was a celebrity death match episode and we had Playmaker going up against Steve Smith, Johnathan Stewart, I'm going to start with you. Who is going to win and why?
Smitty's going to win because he's got the recipe to win. Period.
Okay.
He's built to win. Period.
All right.
Like there's no measurement that can be seen or heard or felt to explain why he would win. Everything that Smitty is, and you know, as far as what people admire about him, it's the inner dog. It's the inner dog that you know exists and that you fear.
Like broken orbital bones, or should I not mention that on this platform?
What'd you say?
Broken orbital bones. But let me not bring up the past. Let's focus on the positive.
Oh wait, nah, I wouldn't say. Listen, y'all better leave that alone. He gonna and listen. That's because that's my dog too. So we ain't gonna be over here talking crazy.
I don't want no smoke. And I literally I've been around Steve Smith. I love him. However, when I saw that Michael Irvin and Steve Smith, I saw people talking about it on the internet, and people was like, "You don't want to test Steve Smith." I'm like, you don't want to test really neither one of these dudes because they both are nothing.
This is what I have to say to that. Like, why does it have to be, you know, two guys in the NFL, you know, Hall of Fame careers to be talked about in a barbaric way?
Well,
these men are well past, you know, their playing days. They're well past.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So as far as like, you know, who's gonna eat whose lunch, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm just having fun with it because I know that.
Like, to me, it's not doing us a disservice. It's doing us a disservice, right?
Right.
These are two brothers that probably talked about the problem, and we don't know about it. So this is old news. This is stuff that we shouldn't even really be hashing out. And I think as a culture, you know, we have to be done. We don't need to give that time. You know what I'm saying? Because I just know that that's where, you know, people, you know, go for clicks, right? But these are two men that have healed. You know, I listened to Michael Irvin on Shannon Sharp's podcast on his show, and there's a lot of healing that man's gone through. There's a lot of discourse that he's gone through, and very much so for Steve Smith. And, you know, guys around the league, you know, we hear these stories, we look at these guys, these high caliber football guys, and we see ourselves in them, right? And so in my mind, you know, really, who wins? Nobody wins. You know, like that should be the subject, right? Like who if they was gonna go into a street fight, nobody wins. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that should be something to, you know, be made light of. Because and I'm obviously speaking out of passion right now, but you know, I just think that should be, you know, the way in which we move. We should be moving and encouraging the other stuff, encouraging, man, they look where they are now. Look where Michael Irvin is right now. Especially hearing his story. That man is an amazing human being. But yeah, man. Sorry, I went on a little side corner there.
Listen, you go on a tangent, dog. I respect it. On this show, we keep it a buck, and I totally understand and respect your perspective. I'm the kind of guy I just like to have fun with it, and I've been around both. I've been around Playmaker a lot more than I've been around Steve Smith, and I've been very, very complimentary of Steve Smith his entire career. That is somebody I looked that man in his face and said, "Dog, thank you for everything that you did." And you know, just being around guys my whole career, I've always been able to laugh and joke with guys and have fun with it. But that's your dog. That's somebody that's close to you. So I understand and respect it.
No, I appreciate it. You know, I'm just making sure I stand on 10 toes.
10 toes down, dog. Standing on business. I respect it.
Yeah.
But either way, all that being said, if you going in the battle on the field and you got to have two dudes line up, you need more than one wide receiver. If I'm going in the battle, I definitely would take 88 and 89. Because what playmaker say, Jesse? I might get knocked out, but that ref, what he gonna say? The ref gonna say first down. The ref gonna say
first down.
Absolutely.
Hey, and Steve Smith, though, all BS aside, he probably had some of the best touchdown celebrations that we've ever seen in the history of the game.
And you know what? It takes a guy to be when a guy is prepared to celebrate. That means he went into the game knowing he was going to score, right? Like that's a special type of guy.
No question.
Bringing Sharpies out and everything.
Again, that mean I scored. That's a cool.
Yeah. Again. What conversation was you having with that youngster over there? I'll just let him know the rules.
Yeah.
Which was that? 8-9. Okay.
Ice up, son. Yeah, man. So, of course, FanDuel brings us to us. Bleav in Cowboys, Jesse Holley, Johnathan Stewart. We know the line is scheduled to fluctuate. I just need to know, and we don't need to go too deep into it. However, JStew, do the Carolina Panthers cover the spread?
Yeah. We if we run the rock, we got.
You don't look too confident, my dog. You
look. This is what my score. I got 31-17. 31-17. It's a home game, and the way Rico Dowdle came off that game, that's a confidence booster for the offensive line and everybody in that locker room. It's a different. To me, it's a different type of win.
Carolina,
in the sense of what they had against the Falcons. The Falcons game, that was a shutout based upon the Falcons playing bad too, right? They had a bad day at the office. Now, the Dolphins got a butt whooping, okay? For 2.5 quarters, they straight up got mollywopped in a dominant way, which was the trenches. And so I don't really feel too good about y'all's trenches. And as long as we run the rock, that's better than, we ran the rock. Dallas is scared, right? Because they scared that Dak ain't gonna see the field as much. So you said 31. You said 31-17. Who has the 31 and who has 17? Boy, you know who has 31? Panthers. Wow.
Hey, I'm not mad at with the sound effects accompanying it. Of course, FanDuel brings it to you. Bleav in Cowboys, Jesse Holley. What's your score? Who you got?
Yeah, that was great, JStew, and it was impassioned and it was almost believable, almost believable. But while the Cowboys haven't figured out this thing yet on defense, I think the Rico Dowdle game last week was one of those, even the clock is right twice a day. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Even the
hold on now. Don't you go there.
I'm just saying.
He's been doing this. He been doing this.
Hold on, dog. Hey, we watched Rico play. We watched Rico play all last season, dog, and he ain't never go over 150.
He had 130-something yards against us. It was a terrible defense, but he did it. He has a 1,000-yard rusher there.
Best game of the season was against the Panthers, right?
That's a 1,000-yard rusher right there. Wow.
I'm not saying that Rico Dowdle isn't a good player, because he is. I don't believe Rico's a 200-yard rusher. And I think Rico.
What do you mean you don't believe he's a 200-yard rusher when he just ran for 200 yards?
I don't. Again, even a blind squirrel can find a nut. You know what I'm saying? I think this is going to be.
So look. So you mean to tell me, my man ran for 206 yards, and you saying even a blind squirrel can find a nut, but he's proven that he can run the rock.
Yeah. No.
Even with y'all last year, it's not my fault that y'all got Dak Prescott and y'all got a needy receiver that's asking for the ball, and the play caller is sitting over there in the booth wondering what he's going to be doing and if he's going to have a job on Monday and all those types of things. So he was calling the wrong plays.
I think Rico's a fine player. I do. I like Rico. I wish we would have still had Rico. I would love to have Rico and Javonte in the backfield this year. But let's be honest. Rico won't be a factor because y'all be playing from behind all day. You'll be down 14 points before you blink. So it's not going to be in the hands of Rico. You're going to look up and go, oh, snap, we down 14-0. We down 17-0. And then now you have to give it to little Tink, and he have to try to figure out a way to throw y'all back in the game. And
all I know is Derek Brown. Hey, look, Derek Brown is going to be all over the place.
We saw Derek.
Remember last year when y'all played Carolina Panthers?
We saw
y'all didn't see Derek Brown.
Yep.
You ain't seen Thornton yet. 31 young DB.
We've seen Dexter Lawrence.
You ain't seen some of these guys that we got now. It's a different squad. Look, Dak ain't seen probably a defense like what we got, to be honest. Because at this point, nobody really knows what the Carolina Panthers defense is really.
They don't know. They don't know.
Now coming to our own.
They don't even know, and that's why.
I think we're figuring it out faster than the Cowboys defense.
It's going to be a field day in the passing game. The seams are open. The middle of the field is open. You know this, JStew. You know.
Man, look, JC Horn ain't hearing that.
I'll put the tape on, and
JC Horn about to lock it up.
That's fine, JC Horn. Go over there on the outside.
Music playing in the background.
We gonna cut them seams up, that middle of the field. We gonna eat that. I watched
that. Be no seams, fellas.
I said that middle of the field gonna be booty, butt, ball naked, open, and they gonna eat. Dak gonna eat the middle.
It's gonna be so open, and Dak gonna be on his back.
It ain't happening. It ain't happening this year, baby. It ain't. He is. You said it
Patrick
earlier.
Jones.
He is playing at the MVP level.
Prince,
where he's doing the ball. His pocket awareness is amazing. He is getting the ball out of his hands. You saw that when Michael Parsons was chasing him down and Michael Parsons had an excellent game. Just how that commercial go, you gotta be quicker than that. You just couldn't get there because the ball was coming out of his hands so quick. So I just think, Rico had a great game last week. They stayed the course with him. But yeah, when you get down 14 points and the way it's looking like for the Cowboys, David Canales and company will get that panic mode and saying, all right, we got to try to get this thing back in one play. And that's when poor little Tank will turn the ball over and give us a play or two, and we'll turn that into a touchdown. And then you'll be looking back up there.
Dallas defense ain't good enough to get any turnovers.
Okay. Especially when Bryce Young give them to us, we'll take it. And we may not be able to go get them, but Bryce Young give it to us.
The gifting season's over with.
Okay.
Hey.
I got the Cowboys. I got Cowboys 34-10.
Ooh. Wow. The disrespect.
All right. Yeah. Hey. When we beat y'all, no.
Listen, we in the group text.
I'm gonna have my, what is it called? Twitter. I'm gonna have my X fingers going.
Come on.
Man.
As Dion would say, I ain't hard to find.
Hey, you a Carolina boy, man. What's wrong with you, Jesse?
I'm a Jersey boy. I went to school in Carolina. I'm from Jersey.
You Carolina blue, man. The sky's gonna be blue.
But who writes his checks still?
You know who write them checks.
Hey, I'm just saying, you know as long as he's gonna lie.
Police, it's the police blue that write the checks. Not the Carolina
green.
Blue.
It's money green, baby.
Hey, you know what? While we're here, can we have a conversation about each college team? Can we talk about the Oregon Ducks and the North Carolina? My bad. No, we ain't got that
Tar Heels. I don't know what's going on in Tar Heel land.
Man, I told folks last December, I said, do not hire that man. And they were like, oh, no, he's the best. I said, don't hire that man. And they, oh, no. I said, okay. I'm gonna tell you.
I will say this, Jesse.
They had to call me. They had to have somebody from call me and was like, "Hey, take it easy, man. We're trying to build this thing up. Take it. We don't need you doing that on social media about our new.
We don't need you telling the truth."
Yeah, they were like, "Take it easy." I was like, "All right," but
hey, I'll give Bill this. Okay, he's been honest this whole time. He's been trying to tell everybody, "Look, we are not good." He actually said in an interview, I was like, "Hey." He told y'all ain't good, so it's gonna take some time.
Well, here's the thing for me. It's I had a brief stint in New England under Bill Belichick, and there are qualities that Bill Belichick teams they have, right? Like they're gonna be disciplined, they're gonna be assignment alignment sound, they're not gonna turn the ball over, and they're gonna play decent defense. We are none of those, and to me, that falls on you, Bill. We're none of those. Like. We're none of those. We can't tackle. We turn the ball over. We don't get the assignments right. You know, and the one thing I've always said that I respect about Bill Belichick, and I'm not against nepotism. I'm not. I just want nepotism to go in my favor sometime. You know what I'm saying? I want my people to be in position where I can go and hire my son to be the DC, hire my son to be the DB coach. Then hire my boy to be the GM, put $1 million in his pocket.
This one ain't got it.
And then let my boy's son coach quarterbacks and put a couple $100,000 in his pocket. Then let my little girl, she now got her brain going, put some M's in her pocket. I'm like, that's G to me. I'm like, I just hate that it happened at my university. That's all.
Hey, so check it. All right, we just gave Jesse the floor to talk about his North Carolina Tar Heels. For the remainder of the podcast, the last couple of minutes, JStew, you got the floor about your Oregon Ducks because they doing their thing this season. They've been balling.
They better be ready for this weekend. The Hoosiers coming to town.
Yeah, the Hoosiers. We basically been saying like who, right? You know they got the quarterback from Cal transferred. You know Cal wasn't good last year. And this young man has brought Indiana a spark, and actually given them, you know, some spotlight. I look at the Illinois win, and I say to myself, why is Illinois ranked the way they are? I don't know. I don't know why. Is there an inside job going on? Because they know that they were going to be playing the Indiana Hoosiers and want to make sure that the Indiana Hoosiers at some point in the season are relevant, and they are relevant right now. They've been winning games, so credit to them. But they not Oregon Ducks. I can tell you that. If we have to go back and look at the quarterback situation, Dante Moore is him. He found out he was him when he went into Happy Valley and made Happy Valley Sad Valley. It ain't my fault that Happy Valley turned Penn State into a team that thought they were who they weren't. You know what I'm saying? This whole time. They thought they were better than what they was, and they got a butt whooping to their behind, and they couldn't shake the butt whooping. And they went to UCLA on a road game, road trips. You have to be able to be on your A game. They didn't have an A game because we took it away. Okay? Took their confidence away. A game comes with confidence. They didn't have none. And UCLA took advantage of that. They have a quarterback at UCLA that took the bait. They took the money, and he went to a sorry school. And that's exactly what they still are. They're not good. And so Penn State lost to a bad team. People are saying now, does that weight carry over to the Oregon's victory in Happy Valley? Yeah, it might to the viewer, but it don't matter because Oregon is going undefeated for the rest of for the rest of the year. Okay, Illinois or Indiana, Indiana, they don't have enough firepower. We went into Penn State and played Penn State's game, and we signed up for it, right? We're like, hey, we're gonna go and play someone else's game and beat them at it, and they did that. Indiana's coming to Autzen Stadium, and they're gonna have to play Oregon's game, which is we're gonna score points and we're gonna play defense, and you're gonna lose because you're not that good. You don't have enough weapons. If you plan on coming in here and running the ball, good luck with that snap count. Okay?
Hey, I love it, man. Hey, Bleav in Cowboys. Jesse Holley, Johnathan Stewart, Parrish, brought to you by FanDuel. A little bit of sprinkle, some college in there. Hey, we appreciate all you for liking, subscribing, listening. All right, y'all done had y'all minute to filibuster, and now we got like 30 seconds before we need to get out of here. JStew, any quick words you want to leave the people with before we bounce?
Nah, man, I appreciate this, man. Y'all do a good job on this podcast. This was actually one of the funnest ones I did.
Hey, have fun with it, man. Hey,
it was fun. It was real. Like, it was respectful. Like, I felt like, like we brothers out here. You know what I'm saying? So we just, I'm all for it. Jesse know how the locker room go. We're gonna call it what it is.
Absolutely. And I'll leave you guys with, man. Like I say every single week, man. Just continue to take care of yourself, man. And if you need help, ask for it. That's the biggest thing, man. It's a lot of us out there. Players on the field, players off the field, and just regular men out here. If you need help, ask for it. It ain't crazy. It don't make you a punk. It don't make you less than. Real men, ask for help. Like I always say, eliminate the contingencies.
Ooh, I like that. Eliminate the contingencies. Hey.
Yeah. Love, respect, and salute. We out of here.